Hi everyone, it's Alexa from Alexa Loves Books, and I am pleased to announce that I am the fourth of the Lit Ladies. So welcome to our new YouTube channel. I hope this is going to be a fun project that lasts for quite some time. Okay, so I'm just going to share a little bit about the things I like to read, and you can just judge for yourself based on my favorite shelf that's here in New York. On there, I have Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas, The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, Cinder, Scarlet, and Soon, Cress by Marissa Mayer, Incarnate, Asunder, and Infinite by Joni Meadows, The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefwater, Something Strange and Deadly, and The Darkness Strange and Lovely by Susan Dennard, which will soon be joined by Strange and Ever After, which is coming out this year. As part of our introduction videos, the girls and I have decided to do a couple of popular tags. The first one is the name tag, which is basically where you spell out your name and you give titles of some of your favorite books while you do so. So let's see. First letter of my name, A. And I chose Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. Sorry. It is one of my favorite books from childhood. I really enjoyed that one. It was my staple along with A Little Princess and The Secret Garden. Okay, the next letter of my name is L, and I kind of cheated, but then again, I don't think the will count as an actual word when it comes to titles, so it's The Luckiest Lady in London by Sherry Thomas, which I just read and absolutely loved. I thought it was such a unique historical romance, and it made me laugh a lot, plus the honesty and the surprising frankness of that story was really, really brilliant. Okay, next letter is E, and I chose an upcoming release, The Edge of Falling by Rebecca Searle. I actually read that one mid last year because I had a review copy, and it is so good. Okay, X. I don't think I've read any book that begins with the letter X. It's really a challenge. If any of you guys have, please feel free to comment and tell me, and maybe I'll check it out. So I am going to make this a bonus for me and instead mention one of my favorite reads, Brooklyn Girls by Gemma Burgess. I read it last year and it was so fun. I think it's an NA novel, I'd say it is, and I love the setting, I love the group of friends, and I pretty much love all their adventures in New York City. Okay, back to an A in my name, and I chose another upcoming release, The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. It's actually a compilation of all the prequel novellas to Throne of Glass. I've read all of them as Kindle books, but I'm excited that they're actually printing it and compiling it. That's going to be amazing, and the cover looks fantastic. Yes, if you haven't read the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, what are you waiting for? I'm kidding. But it sort of keeps getting better and better and better, and I cannot wait for Heir of Fire, which is the third book, and it's out this year as well. Okay, where am I? All right. N. I chose a historical romance for this one again, and it's 9 Rules to Break When Romancing a Rake by Sarah MacLean. It is such a fun series. Sarah really writes books that make me laugh out loud, and 9 Rules was the first one I ever read by her, and I still love it. Okay, another historical romance for the next letter, which is D, and it is one of my all-time favorites, and I'm sure Raquel is bound to agree with this. It's Devil in Winter by Lisa Kleypas. Because seriously, I love the hero and the heroine of that book so much. I have reread that book constantly since I first read it, and it still makes me cry, and it still makes me laugh, and it's still amazing. So yes, if you guys haven't read that book yet, it's actually part of a series by Lisa Kleypas called The Wallflowers, and I enjoyed the other books as well, so you might want to read it in order if that's your thing. Okay, next letter, R. So I chose The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefwater. I know her writing is not for everyone. That much is clear. But the way she wrote The Raven Boys was so good. Like, it's a little confusing, but it's also really good. And the sequel, The Dream Themes, is even more mind-blowing, so you guys should definitely give that a try. And the last letter of my first name is an A, and I chose another historical romance, A Week to Be Wicked by Tessa Dare, and I chose that book because it amused me so much when I first read it. I love it when a book can make me laugh and cry and rage all at once, and this happens more often than not with historical romances, and this definitely happened to be one of them. Okay, you know, I'm a cheater, so I'm going to kind of include my middle name as well. So the first letter would be M, and it's for My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick, which is such a cute YA contemp. I love the romance in it. I'm not such a big fan of, like, some of the things that happen in it, but the romance, spot on. Okay, next letter is A, and I chose Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson because seriously, I had to include a Morgan Matson book on this list because I love her writing and I think it's amazing. Amy and Rogers is so fun to read. R is for Reunited by Hilary Wiseman Graham, and I loved it because it was a friendship story. There were a lot of other aspects, to be sure, but the biggest part for me was the friendship between the girls who were ex-friends. So, yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. Okay, and the next letter is I, and I had to put In Honor by Jessie Kirby. It was my first book from her, and I really liked it. I loved the road trip aspect as well, and I loved just the story in general. Jessie's writing is absolutely beautiful. And the last letter would be an E. And I chose, well, I kind of cheated with this one because I chose a series. And the two books, well, it's not a series, it's a duology. And the two books in the duology are Eon and Iona, and they're by Alison Goodman. And oh my gosh, I am so in love with that story. I love the way she was able to incorporate Asian culture into it, and I also love just the fact that it's about dragons, guys. That's it. Okay, so let's go through the 7 deadly sins, bookish style. Okay, first is greed, and the question was for my most inexpensive book and my most expensive book. So I kind of can't remember how much my books cost sometimes, and it's hard because I'd have to convert like from Filipino currency into US dollars, which is kind of a hassle. So I just looked at the books that I bought myself and actually own, which are here in New York. So my most inexpensive book right now was what is it? Oh, Racing Savannah by Miranda Keenely. Uh, I spent less than $10 on that book because I pre-ordered it. The most expensive book I own right now that's on the shelf is probably The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. It cost a little over $20, possibly $25. So yeah, that was a little bit expensive, but so worth it because I love that book. The writing is fantastic. Main character page is awesome, but best of all, there's a warden in it. And if you don't know who Warden is, you might want to read The Bone Season. um, okay, the next deadly sin is wrath. I would say that this question was hard for me because I was supposed to think about an author that I love and hate in equal measures. And it's really difficult because I'm usually at one extreme or the other. I really love them, I really don't love them. I guess I came up with a list finally, and it's interesting. I think Rick Riordan is one of my love-hate relationships. I love his books, and I love him in general. I just hate the fact that I always have to wait for the next part of his books. So I don't know if that's really the books for him. Um, Veronica Roth would be one because I loved the beginning of the Divergent series. And the second book, I'm not such a big fan of the third. I thought it was a good ending, but I didn't exactly love it the way I love the first two. And the last one, I guess I would name Amy Carter. It's funny because with her, it's always like I have to warm up to her series. So I guess that's it. It's actually funny because I'm actually a fan of these three authors. Honestly, it's just little things about them that I guess that I hate, quote unquote. I wouldn't say hate. I guess it's just it doesn't work for me. I think that's better. Or it's pretty much torture in the case of Rick. Okay, the next deadly sin is gluttony, and this is the one where you're supposed to name the book that you reread the most, and I'm pretty sure Raquel and I will have the same book on this one, and it's Blue-Eyed Devil by Lisa Kleypas, because oh my god, that book is fantastic. If you have not met Hardy Cates, consider this your endorsement, and I'm pretty sure that Sharon and Raquel will absolutely agree. It's such a good contemporary romance. It's a very strong one, and it's got such great characters. I also reread Devil in Winter a lot, which I already mentioned earlier up in the name tag. And I also reread Ransom by Julie Garwood, which was it was the second or third historical romance I ever read, and I love it. I love it. My sister and I reread it all the time. In YA, on the other hand, I currently reread Crown of Midnight a lot. There's this one specific scene that I can't talk about because unless you've read it, it won't mean anything to you, but seriously, that scene just gets to me every single time. Okay, next sin, sloth. What have I been lazy about reading? Okay, honestly, at this point, I'm really lazy about reading classics. I used to read a lot of them, especially Shakespeare, back when I was in the Philippines. But now that I am here, for some reason, I've never read it. I think it's because I keep reading, like, young adult books, which is not a bad thing, mind you, but I would like to go back to reading them. Okay, Pride. What's a book that I would be proud to say I've read? I guess my favorite that I'm proud of is probably Pride and Prejudice. I only read it in 2010, but I loved it. Other than that, I'm also happy that I've read a lot of Shakespeare. Lust. Oh, what attracts me to a character? I like loyalty, honesty, kindness, not afraid to be vulnerable, funny, sweet, passionate, intelligent, brave, loves their family and their friends. Pretty much, I think that's it. I feel like I'm missing something, but let's just leave it at that. Um, oh, and this goes for guys and girls, by the way. So, yeah, I'm not like I don't particularly prefer like one gender over the other or even one um, culture over the other. So yeah, envy. Okay, this is the last one, and it's a books that I want to have. Right now, I would kill to read Since You've Been Gone, which is Morgan Matsson's new release coming this year, or To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, which is her new release coming out this year. But in terms of books that have already come out or are already published, I would want the gorgeous special edition of Aragon. So there you have it, guys. That was my intro video for the Lit Ladies. I hope you keep joining us as we do our bi-weekly posts. Um, it's gonna be fun. We'll be talking about books and other fun things related to books, and maybe sometimes not things related to books. But I love these ladies, and I hope you join us on this new venture of ours. Let us know below in the comments what you'd like to see us talk about, or things that you feel we need to add to our videos or our channel. And other than that, bye guys!